Hey y'all, welcome to episode 3 of Kali Unfiltered. Today we are going to be discussing mental health, which is big to me. I know it's big to my guests. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Dabney. I am a therapist. I work with mental health, preferably right now the crisis area. So like immediate needs, like whoever goes in the hospital or at the jail who needs to be assessed for mental health treatment is what I do.
Okay, period. Yeah. Why did you get into that field?
You know, some people have this story behind why they do what they do. Me, I don't know what the hell I was doing.
Girl, I don't blame you.
I went into human services just like, I don't know what I want to do. I just knew like I wanted to do something with therapy.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Did money have a
Nope.
No?
Girl, I'm not in it for the money.
Yeah, good.
It's not the biggest field for big paychecks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was actually researching a little before you came on, because I was going to ask that question anyways, like if money had an impact, but like it really isn't one of the like top high paying careers. No. And I was reading that a lot of people, it was like something personal, so that's why I wanted to ask.
No. I think I figured out that, you know, I'm a religious person, so I think that God sent me this way to serve my community, because that is the point of women created by God, is we are to serve. So whether it's to serve community, serve your husband, serve your family, I feel like that's why I got into it.
I love that. Have you always been big in faith, or is that something you recently done? I love it. I love it. So I know me, I was like big into it growing up, and then I went through a path where like I kind of lost it when I went through some stuff, and now I'm trying to get back into it now, because you know, I feel like Christianity sometimes, especially the church, can play a big role in that.
But my situation where I got played into it, but it's, the church and society hurts people more than the actual religion. So yeah,
I feel like speaking of like religion and mental health, I know some people is always like God will get you through it or whatever, but do you think sometimes like in mental health like issues and problems going on that like sometimes it isn't all religion, like sometimes you need help too? Yeah, because
we live in a world, we don't live in spirituality, we live in a world where natural things happen, genetics happen, you know, trauma, some trauma is not in God's plan, so you know, we live in a world where worldly things happen that we have to deal with.
So do you think where like people are going through hard things and then they'll be like, well, this happens like because of God, do you think that's harder on people like going through mental health problems?
Yeah, I mean, not everything happens because of God. Like, I believe that, you know, like I said, we live in reality, we live in like, we have worldly things happen. So like sometimes it's not God, like, you know, it's hard to explain, but
no, it definitely is.
Yeah, like I always say, like, life is gonna be shitty. Like there's something that's always gonna happen in life, is how you deal with it.
I know that's right, girl. Period. So it sounds like you have a lot on your plate 24/7, and I'm sure that can be like mentally hard for you. So how do you deal with like burnout and like work-life balance? Because I'm sure that can be like draining.
Yes. A lot. It can, especially in my field where I'm constantly seeing someone in crisis and distress, psychotic, not in reality sometimes, or they're like, I want to kill myself, and they have a plan, or they want to kill someone else and they have a plan. So they teach you that in school though, like how to balance work and not take work home. My mentality is when I walk out the door, I, you know, wipe my feet of work, and then I go out, you know, just do my own thing. Like I don't have work email on my phone. I don't have work chat on my phone. Everything is left at work until my next shift. And they teach you that. It also takes consistency too.
Good, girl. Because I know, like, you gotta think, you go in and you see and hear like some crazy things. So I can only imagine, like, that's so hard to just like leave at the door when you leave. Because I know me personally, like, I wanted to go into that field, like, when I graduated, and then I was like, girl, I'm mentally fucked up myself. I can't do it. Like, I cannot do it, because I couldn't just leave that. Like, that is so hard, so I give you a lot of credit doing that. So, like, anyways, with you dealing with all that, you coming home, how is it, like, managing anxiety, like, in such a chaotic world? Not just for you, but, like, how do you, like, give guidance to other people, because the world is crazy right now. Like, there's so much going on, whether it's like politically, like socially, there's so much going on. So how do you like best deal with that? And your patience, I guess.
Yeah. I think in general, like I said before, like, there's always something that's going to happen in life. Like, life is not perfect. Nobody said it was easy. Always expect disappointment to happen. So, like, if you're going through things with, if you're going through anything, you want to stay positive while you're going through those things, but you always want to expect disappointment. That way you don't get your hopes too high. You don't go in there already negative. You just kind of have that balance, and it takes practice. Also, like, in this chaotic world, there's some things that we can't control.
Yeah.
There's going to be things that we just absolutely cannot control. We cannot control everything that goes on in our life. So, knowing what you can control and what you can't, and understanding that there's no point in getting upset over the things that you can't control, because it's only going to put more stress and more anxiety and more fear in you. So you focus on the things that you can control. Like, I don't know if you've seen, there's these pictures where it's got this circle, and it's like things that I can't control are in the outside of the circle. Things that I can't control are in the inside. So what we're going to focus is what's in our circle. What I can't control? My mental health, my physical health. At times, of course, people get too crazy. I'm not too crazy, but like have a lot of physical health. You can control how you react to things. You can it's all about just regulation. What can I control, and focus on that.
Yeah, I know you said like it's so easy to like, whether you're like just like in your head thinking like the worst is gonna happen, or just like be prepared for it. But I know I had went through a phase like when I lost my daughter and when I lost my dad. Especially when I lost my daughter, it was just like I've gotten such like, I just expect everything bad to happen. Like me personally, and that's something I know that I'm trying to like work out of. But I just feel like it's so hard, like when you do go through things and like mental health crisis, like at that point you just like always expect the worst to happen. So I can only imagine like if I'm feeling it, I know other people feel it just on like different levels. And it's just so hard managing that. Like it truly is so hard, because like you get so in your head and it's just like, this is what I expect. But I'm working on.
And that takes time. That takes, it takes some consistency to do that. And when it comes to grief has no time frame.
Yeah.
You could be okay one day and not okay the next day. There's no process to grief either. So, like, there's no steps to take to feel better. And that's fine. We're human. Yeah. We have emotions. We were made to have emotions. It's how we regulate them. It's how we are able to enjoy our lives.
So when do you think, like, when is best to seek therapy? Or do you think there's, like, even a time frame? Like, whether you've been through a lot or haven't been through a lot, like, do you think, when is best to seek therapy?
I think I always like to say even a therapist needs a therapist. So just basically, if there's anything that's going on in your life that you need to process and get another point of view that is not biased and not judgmental, is when you should seek counseling. I believe that, if you talk to friends, family, they have their own certain bias already, because they are going to believe your side. They are going to focus more, or they could have, their own personal bias already that they're going to attach to that advice or suggestions or support that they have. So if you want someone to talk to that is going to let you see it in a way that is healthy, non-judgmental, non-biased, then it's best to seek counseling for those things.
I know that's right, because I know, like, I have some friends I'll go to, and I know I'll be dead ass wrong, and they still telling me I'm right, so it's just so hard. Like, I really do want friends that tell me, like, when I'm wrong, too. Like, I feel like it's so important to, like, your homegirl's fucking up, or, like, she's slipping. You need to tell them. Like, you need to hold your friends, like, accountable, even in, like, mental health crisis. Because, like, I feel like when I went through what I did, like, it was just, like, everybody always telling me, like, everything's gonna be great. And, like, reality is, it's not gonna be good all the time. Like, I'm not okay right now, and I don't need you telling me, like, you're okay, like, it'll get better, because it's not getting better. You're not helping any. You're just, like,
So, and that's another thing, too. A lot of people listen to respond. A lot of people don't listen to understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I don't want you to tell me what to do. I don't want to hear your advice. I just want to vent.
Yeah.
And I just want someone to listen to me. That's what counseling is great for, too. But also, I think more people need to understand that sometimes I just want to just let it out. I don't want to hear what you have to say, because half the time I really don't care. I just want to, because somebody's going to have their own advice or their own opinion of how you went through it. But at the end of the day, you experience what you experience and how you feel about it. And sometimes we just need people there to listen.
I know I've even came across some people, like, I'll be telling them what's going on, and it's like, I know it, like, maybe comes from a good place, but sometimes you'll be telling them what's going on, and then they'll, like, try to, like, make their trauma worse, and I'm just like, damn, I can't talk about anything, like, I was just trying to tell you what's going on in my life, and now you're, like, one up in trauma me, and, like, I think
that's what we try to do as humans, is we just try to connect in a way that, to gain that kind of support. So we try to connect, like, oh yeah, I went through this too, yada yada yada, and that's just kind of like just the human in us.
It is. I just feel like, oh my gosh, sometimes it comes off so sideways, and I know I catch myself doing it sometimes too, and I'm like, damn, shut up.
Yep. I do it too. I try to connect with people, and I'm like, maybe they just want to talk about their stuff. Let me just be quiet.
And then I feel like I'm like horrible, because then they're like, well, you're not responding, and I'm like,
And sometimes it's okay to have nothing to say. Like, I'm just listening to you.
Because I know sometimes, like, I be trauma dumping on my friends, and they're just like, damn. Like, you really can't say much to that, and that is okay. But like you said, it's great to have, like, somebody to just vent to sometimes. But, I mean, I know I personally didn't, but you never know, like, someone watching, like, childhood trauma. Like, do you see a lot of that? Like, do you think a lot of people's, like, adult trauma stems from childhood trauma? Yeah,
it's called, we call it ACEs in mental health, so it's adverse childhood experiences. There's like a scale. I did learn that since COVID happened, COVID is considered a trauma. So kids who have grown up in COVID era have all at least had one adverse childhood experience. And a lot of how we act as adults is by our childhood experiences. So yeah, I see that a lot, especially in like ADHD kids, who are not unmedicated. They end up growing up suicidal, low self-esteem, on drugs. So a lot happens, in your childhood that does affect your adult life.
Yeah. I know, like, even like I said, I didn't deal with it personally, but I'm married to someone who does have a lot of, like, childhood trauma, and I feel like as a man, they don't really, like, come out about it enough. Like, I feel like sometimes, like, when I first got with him, not me putting his business out there, but it was, like, dealing with, like, a lot of mommy issues, and it was just, like, it's so sad, and he didn't even realize he had childhood trauma until, like, we started talking about it more, and he started talking to other people, and he's like, wow, maybe I do act like this because of, like, stuff that happened to me when I was a kid, and it's so sad. Like, it really is so sad. So do you think, like, childhood trauma affects a lot of, like, relationships?
If it hasn't been processed, if you haven't been able to cope with your childhood trauma, like if you, like in your boyfriend's case, or sorry, not boyfriend, husband's case, sorry, let me one up there, but if they don't know, then, you know, they're not going to be able to process it and be able to understand how to cope in the adult world with what they have, what they've went through. So yeah, I do believe that it does.
So do you think there is a stigma behind, like, men's mental health and men getting help for mental health?
Oh yeah. You know, back in the day, men, you know, even some still, like, they grow up and it's like, oh, you can't cry. Only girls cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be a little girl. You're crying like a little girl. So men are naturally taught to hide their emotions, which affects relationships majorly. Like, men do not express their feelings. Men do not cry. They hold it in, which makes them angry and have outbursts. So, yeah, men, get your counseling on, okay?
Get help.
Because women love an emotionally regulated man, okay?
No, seriously, though. Because, like, I just feel like, it's just so hard. Like, I have to remember, I had talked about it in my first podcast, like, it's their first time living, too. Like, it truly is. This is everybody's first time just trying to, like, do life. And it's hard. Like, as much as, like, women, like, we're crybabies or whatever, but, like, that's all way of releasing it. And like you said, like, men just don't put it out there like women do. And it's, like, it's not any more attractive to be strong. Like, it's okay to be vulnerable and sad and tell you what's going on as a man. Like, that's okay. And we find that sexy, too. I mean, I know I do. I don't know about you. I mean, don't be like Drake crying on my shit, but like,
no, cool, it is very attractive to have a man who's open about their feelings and to be able to communicate with you in a respectful way that actually increases, like, it just adds a positivity to your relationship. Like, I know I can come to you and tell you anything, and like that's the whole point of being a partner. Like, they're supposed to be your rock.
Yeah,
so
100%. So can changing your mindset and like positive thinking, like, do you think that has any impact on like your mental health? Like, that can that change your situation? Like changing your mindset and positive thinking.
Mm-hmm. I think that your perspective is everything.
Yeah.
How you view the world is how you react to things.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you it shows how you behave. I always say life is all about your perspective.
Yeah.
How you view life is how you're going to be. So if you view everything as negative, things are always going to go wrong, that's just how your life is going to be. And it's hard living like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure,
just knowing like the things that you can control, things you can't control, how you view things. We always say it's, oh man, I can't remember what it's called, but instead, when you see yourself thinking negative, like, oh, today's going to be a crap day, like, there's a thing in therapy where we try to acknowledge that negative thought and then try to turn it into positivity. So gratitude, talking about what you're grateful for helps so much. It increases your mental health by so much, just doing little things like gratitude, positive thinking. So like someone would say, oh, this rain is such a dread, like, and it could be like, oh yeah, I get to stay in, this is good for the grass, like just like random stuff, like being grateful for the little things, and just and it's a whole lot easier said than done. Way easier said than done. But it just takes practice.
I feel like what you put into like the world is what you're gonna get back. I know, like, I personally changed that for myself, because like I used to be one of those people. I'd just be like, I know it was draining for everyone around me too, because I'd be like another day, like I hate my life. But like once I started like changing and like thinking about what I did, like little things that gave me happiness in times like when I really needed it, it was just like things just like progressively got so much better for me. So like I do agree with you, like perspective is huge, and like what you put out there is gonna come back tenfold. If you're constantly like saying you hate your life and like this shit sucks and like you hate your job, like you're gonna hate it worse. That's all I got for you.
Exactly. It's called the law of attraction.
Yeah.
You attract what you talk about, what you how you behave, for sure.
Yes, girl. So somewhat like you have a loved one going through a mental crisis, a friend, a family, like how do you best support them through a mental health crisis?
How crisis are we talking? Are we talking like, well, crisis is so different, because crisis in someone's world could mean like, oh my gosh, I didn't get my cup of coffee the right way, I'm having a fucking breakdown.
Oh, that was everybody when I went to Starbucks.
And then somebody else's crisis could be like, I'm about to kill myself. So like, it's perspective here.
Okay, so
I guess like just in general, a crisis, if someone is like
someone's going through a really hard time mentally, we can just say that.
Okay.
Crisis is too broad.
So if someone's going through a really hard time and they want to talk to you, just be there to listen. Mm-hmm. Like I said, some people listen to respond and some people listen to understand. So just listening to what they're saying, and like ask like, hey, can I give you some advice? Is that what you're looking for here? Or do you need some resources for your help, for what you're going through? Just being there and being supportive, I think, is all we can do when someone's going through a really hard time. And just not like overdoing it. Maybe just like checking in here and there, but not trying to take over their situation is I think just being there as a support and just listening to them. And then like if they ask you like, what should I do? What is the best way, to seek help? Like if they feel like they need counseling, or they need to be on medications, or if they need to go into a mental health facility just to have a break. Like we do have places around here where it's like, I need a break mentally. Like I can't do this no more. And there's great places around here for that. And a lot of people are ashamed to go into places like that, but it's a great place to just,
I think a lot of people are ashamed
right.
of like therapy too, like speaking of it. Like there's such a stigma behind it, but like it's okay. And that's something shit I'm learning myself. Like I said, we're talking about like how to help a loved one and stuff, but I know I said I also didn't have any childhood trauma, but that's a lie, because I do actually, and I'm still coping from it. But like, I lost my daughter right the day before I turned 18. So I turned 18 on the 27th. I lost her on the 26th. I moved out away from my parents, so like this is a lot to process. So I moved out in November, December after that. And I literally, like, I don't talk about it a lot, but like I do try to be open on here as much as I can. But I tried to kill myself in December. I wasn't living at home, and like I know my mom and sister, they'll probably watch this, but they had so much regret because like they were trying to help me, but they didn't know how to help me because like I was just so like, I'm okay, like I don't need help. And that was like extremely hard for them, and I know that gives them a lot of trauma because like after I came out about it and was like, hey, like I was gonna kill myself because I had like a whole plan. Like, I was 18, I was young, I was in an abusive relationship. And it's just a lot. And, like, I, like, hate looking back now because, like, I know when my mom found out, like, she was crushed because I know she tried her hardest. But, like, I literally did not see anything else, like, after that. Like, because you got to think, I was in high school, so that was already hard. Like, having a child with special needs in high school, you're going to hear, like, people are hard, teenagers are hard. It was a lot to go through. And then, like, trying to go into the real adult world after, and wanting to navigate that by myself and pushing away, like, the most important people. It's just so hard. So, like, if you have loved ones and you have friends wanting to help you, take the help. Because, like you said, they may not know how to, like, tell you about it or what to tell you to do. But they want to be there for you. And as much as it hurts you, like, I'm sure it hurts them, too. Like, seeing someone they love and not being able to, like, help them. You know what I'm saying? So, and I just seen my mom go through it because I lost my dad, not this past December, but the December before, and she was saying the same thing. She's like, I don't want to be here anymore, which is understandable. Like, she's with my dad.
I will say, in any of those cases, if someone says, I don't want to be anymore, I want to kill myself, like, immediately, like, well-being check, or, like, or you could straight up ask them, like, are you feeling suicidal?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you want to kill yourself? Do you have a plan to do this? Like, those should be, like, the immediate needs at that point. Yeah. So, I mean, well-being check. My job has therapists that work with the police that go out on mental health calls when they call 911. So it's not as scary. Of course, the police are there, but there's also a therapist there that immediately talks with them now.
That's right.
And
I think a lot of people don't even know those resources exist. You know what I'm saying?
It just started last July. 2023. Gosh, time flies.
I know, literally it's 2025. That makes me want to throw up. Ugh. Yeah, but no, like, I feel like back then, too, I was so scared to go to therapy. I was like, I'm not going to therapy. I don't want these people to think I'm, like, psycho. I don't want them to think I'm crazy. And then I went to therapy for the first time, and it was like a breath of fresh air. I was like, I love it here. Like, this is exactly what I needed. And it's just so,
and
like...
that's hard.
Yeah.
You were so young.
Yeah.
You didn't know anything. And that is, like... how we are when we turn 18, like, would know nothing. Then you had all that you're dealing with and trying to do it on your own. Yeah. Yeah,
literally, like, it was just, I hate it. I hate even looking back. But, like, until recently, I kid you not, until I lost my dad and I was trying to go into this whole, like, healing era, I did not even think about it. I would hate thinking about it. If I tried to, like, look back and try to, like, process it and work through it, I'd be like, not today. I would journal some, and then I would literally, like, throw the journal in the trash. I was like, this is too much. But over the last year, like, I am journaling, because, like, even I don't want to talk to people. Like, Trayvon, he's always here for me, but, like, I don't want to put that on him sometimes, too. And that's, like, I know he doesn't mind, but, like, I hate putting it on people around me. So finding other ways to kind of, like, get it out, top tier. Oh, girl.
Anything that works best for you, that's gonna make you feel better, is what is important.
Yeah. So, when I was going through that, onto the next topic, social media was horrible. Like, this, you gotta think this was like 2019, so like Twitter, Snapchat, you know, the teenagers was going crazy on there. And I know sometimes I think I needed to just throw my phone away because it was horrible. Like I said, going through high school with a special needs child.
Yeah.
And a teen mom, it was the worst thing of my fucking life. I hated it. But do you think social media plays a big role in, like, mental health problems today?
Yes, people are mean. People are very mean. I went in this field just it's just crazy to watch people how mean they are.
And they be saying anything on social media. Like, you couldn't pay me to say or do some of the shit that I see on there. I be doing some crazy shit on there.
Yeah, technology runs our life nowadays, so it's really hard. It's pros and cons. You have easier connection to people, so that's good. Like, community, right? You know, if you want to, like, go out and do things with people, easy, like, you know. But there also is cons. You know, you see the news, it's nothing but bad stuff.
Scary.
Yeah. People see the bad news and freak out and start posting all this stuff, and then it goes viral, and some of it may be true and some of it may be not. And that's another thing too. We're creating this false belief of some things, and then it's got everybody just worked up and so anxious about what's going on, because there's a difference between anxiety and fear. Fear, let's say fear is there's a snake in front of you and you are in fear that you're going to get bit. Anxiety tells you, what if a snake is there? So we're creating so much false fear that it just has everybody so overwhelmed. And that's so awful. And anybody can say what they want behind a screen, because just some people are just mean.
And I know I was reading election year is actually one of the worst years for, like, people with mental health, like, truly, just because there's so much, like you said, like, chaos in the news and, like, so much biased opinions. It's just so much going on constantly. But I feel like it's not even just that, but, like, constantly comparing yourself to other people through social media. Like, I feel like that is, like, something, like, your standards are always changing. Like, you want to fit in with what's going on, the latest trends, or you're comparing your timeline to someone else's. And, like, I know me personally, like, I'll see people my age and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm behind. And then I'll be like, oh, well, some people I'm ahead. Like, it's just so hard. Like, I feel like social media is...
They always say comparison is the thief of joy. So, and that's up to you. And that's up to you how you manage that. And it just takes practice. You have to remind yourself, like, this is my life. There is no timeline on how I'm supposed to live life. You know, I'm healthy, I'm breathing, my babies are happy, you know, my husband's happy, we have food, we have whatever we want, we can go out and buy it because we have money, we got jobs. There's a lot of good things to be grateful about. So you always want to just, and like I said, it just takes practice, a whole lot easier said than done. Just think about what you have and just be grateful for what you have.
100%. That is such a word. Be grateful for what you have, because, like, I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in, like,
very easy,
what you don't have, and then you're like, wow, like,
I
have all this. I have all this stuff. I have all these people. Like, I do have stuff. So, in your field of work, what is the top 5 tips you have since working in your field?
Be grateful for what you have. Gratitude. Always find your perspective in the world. So change how you view things. That is something completely major. Do what you love. Do what you love to do. Like, and be grateful when coming back to the gratitude, like, find things that just bring you joy. Whether it's, like, having your favorite coffee in the morning, like, or just anything simple, like, find a routine that you love and stick with it. I don't think that was 3. I don't know.
I feel like routine is so important for everyone, though, because when I'm out of routine now, I'm like, I just feel like chaos. I love a good routine, girl.
Yes. And take care of you. That's a major one.
For you. Take care of you for yourself.
You can't take care of anybody else unless you are taken care of, which is why on an airplane, they always say, put your mask on first before you help others put your mask on. Because you can't do anything if you don't have your own mask on.
That's a word,
It's the same thing with your mental health. You cannot take care of anybody else till you take care of yourself. And know when it's time to fill your cup up again. Know when your cup is empty and it's time to fill it up. And boundaries. Boundaries. Set healthy boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, hey, I'm mentally not in a good place right now, and I can't do this, or I can't do that, or I'm not doing this anymore. You know, set those boundaries and stick with them, because that is what is going to make you happy.
Yes, ma'am. That little girl.
Yes, those probably the top few things for me.
So is there someone say, because you know it's always in that new year, new me, because I know I'm very big on that. If there's anyone looking to start their mental health journey this year, like, what do you have to say to them? Whether it's getting therapy, just like finding help for you, what do you have to say to them?
Like, just find what works for you, because there's a lot of things. A lot of people have different ways to make themselves happy. So find what works for you. If you go to counseling and you don't like it, maybe it's just the counselor or the company. Just trial and error. Like, find what works for you. Like, I like to go to the gym. I like to have a Celsius every now and again. That makes me happy.
I know that's right. I want a Red Bull so bad.
You know, just like, take care of yourself. Do what makes you happy. And definitely with your perspective, just try to change your perspective into a more positive outlook, and you're going to have a more positive life.
Period. I love
It's so simple, but it's so hard to do.
I love
because it takes consistency to change a habit.
Yep.
So,
and I feel like there's no like age discrepancy. Like, your kids, you never know what they're going through. Take it easy on them. Like I told you, it's everyone's first time just trying to go through life. So,
and kids are human too.
Oh yeah,
we're all human.
And I feel like a lot of like our adult trauma we take out on kids, and it's just so hard because they're so innocent. But that, like, you got to think like you're molding them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have any like, since going into your field, did it change your like way of parenting any?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I even took parenting classes too.
Oh.
Like, nobody's a perfect parent, you know, but we can learn how to understand our children and find what works best as a parent, so you and your child can get along. And, you know, we can't control you know, if they're going to experience trauma. There's some things that we can't control, but we can do what we can as parents, you know, to just make sure that they are able to stay alive.
I know that's right, because at the end of the day, if all you did was keep your kid alive that day,
yes.
praise you, because whoo,
yes,
they crazy as hell, girl.
And we're all human. Like, I get angry, I yell, and you know, I do feel guilty about it, but you know, we're all human. We're not perfect. We just have to understand, like, communicate with them. It's okay to apologize to your children. It's okay to say, hey, I'm sorry, I was really angry at that time. And that lets them, you know, they can do the same thing to you. Mm-hmm. Like, they're watching your every move. So if you are kind to your child's going to be kind to you.
Period, girl. So I know you're single now, maybe?
Always.
You got a little thing?
No. You're always single.
So we talked about your... Please leave me alone. We talked about your field, like, as far as parenting. Did it change your outlook on finding the, like, partner, too?
I have bad taste when it comes to men.
Okay, so it didn't change you?
My problem is I look at the good in everybody, and that's what, you know, fucks me over. But
people live two lives, baby. You can see the good, the bad right behind it. It ain't too far.
I know what I need to do. I know what I want in a man, but I always just try to see the good in them, and then, you know.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a really bad question, because I've never once considered my mental health when dealing with the man.
I've had crash out moments when in relationships, and I was doing, you know, I was working in the field that I am now. I mean, I just think this generation is very hard to date, so it's just like, that's a whole different situation.
Dating pool. I could barely deal with being married. If I try to get on Tinder or something, in this day and age, or Facebook dating, they use that. I don't know. Do they use Facebook dating?
Some people do.
Old heads, but I couldn't even imagine going through that. I be seeing it on TikTok, and I'm just like, ew, I hate it.
Yeah, it's just because, that's a whole different topic. That's just like society making it okay to fuck everybody around here, and
Roanoke is this big. barely that big.
Just society makes it seem so okay to cheat, and there's a side, like, it's cool to have side pieces, and
it ain't.
Mental health taught me that it's okay to be alone.
We love that for you.
So we managed to be like, I was at my lowest dating people.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm okay.
I be seeing my peers and like people around me just like stuck on their man, and it is so draining. Like I'm physically watching them like get the life sucked out of them.
But it's hard.
I know. Like,
everybody is shitty nowadays, so like you might as well stick with your shitty person at this point.
Yeah,
but
okay.
you know, that like I said, that's a whole nother
Unless
situation.
they put their hands on you or something and then
Okay,
call
that's
me
different.
and I'll beat them up.
That's definitely different. But it's
Yeah.
like everybody just cheats now. It's really hard to find a loyal person.
Damn. Well, I hope you do.
Well, you know, it is what it is at this
Thoughts
point.
and prayers. I hope you do. For your sake. But I really love this. This was great. I'm so glad to have someone from your field because, you know, even if this gets like 5 views or 10 views, this could help like somebody. And I realize that. I know we do a lot of events for the community and stuff. And it's just like, even if 5 people show up, that's 5 people that you know that you made a positive impact on. And like you said, in social media and real life, there's so much bullshit going on. Sometimes it's good to just have like a breath of fresh air. So I really, really thank you because like I said, I know this is all very new. So I thank you a lot for coming on here and just like spreading the word because we need more good word. And yeah, girl, do you have anything you want to end it out with?
Just take care of your mental health. Mental health is just as important as your physical health.
It sure is, girl.
Take care of you.
Take care of you. Take care of the people around you. Reach out to get help. Don't be afraid to get help. Make sure to help your loved ones. And that's all we got for you.
Yes, love you.
Yeah.